Hey guys! Welcome to the HVAC Diaries.
The HVAC Diaries are brought to you by New Calgon. Hey guys, how are you this week? I hope you had another excellent week. Ours was a little slow again. We've had a few slow weeks in a row, but that's okay. We're gearing up for summertime and springtime, so we're ready to rock and roll. So I only have a few adventures to take you on this week, but I've been very busy because of International Women's Day this week. So let's first talk to you about the HVAC adventures I'm going to take you on. We repaired a prep cooler at a pizza place. We also installed a wind baffle on a Samsung mini split ductless system. We installed a motorized damper in some ductwork for an office. And we had a call to look at some thermostat programming issues. For International Women's Day this week, I was interviewed by Contracting Business magazine. And their article was published on their website, and I will link that below in the description. Also this week, the interview that I did with Bathika Banter back in January, I mentioned it then, that was published or posted onto YouTube this week as well. So I'll leave a link for that too.
Today, a really unique young lady in our industry. You know her as HVAC Jess. She is a social media HVAC influencer and an HVAC technician. That's most important. In British Columbia, and welcome Jessica Bannister, HVAC Jess. Say hello to everybody, Jess.
Hi everybody, thank you so much for having me, Jerry.
Oh, my pleasure.
I forgot to mention this article in HVAC/P magazine. This one I did, it was like a written interview. And here's the article. So I'll link this below as well. It's been a busy week for me.
I usually share with you guys when I have like new technical things like new cameras or microphones, or if I have issues. And this week, I don't know what happened, but my 360 camera went onto this mode where it just whited everything out. So I have a whole day of videos lost because they all look like this. Seriously.
All right, let's get this party started. We're starting off at a pizza place. They've got a prep cooler here that we are going to take a look at. It's just not getting cold enough. This is the cooler in their kitchen. We're starting off with the condensing unit, and right away we realized that the fan isn't working, the condenser fan. My dad flipped it and got it to run, but it's a matter of time before it stops and won't start again. So we also wanted to just check the pressures just to make sure that we didn't have anything else going on. But it was just the fans. We have two different kinds of fans, and luckily one of these is the one we needed. Now technically we could pull the condenser out of the unit a little bit, but for some reason we decided to struggle this way. Trev had to get literally on his back. He was covered. And then it was teamwork. Trevor's literally holding a bit on the screw while I'm putting in a very, very long bit and unscrewing it. Felt a little bit like surgery. Don't drop the screw, don't drop anything. And then, of course, this little extra bonus screw underneath. But we got her out. Great success. Look how dirty this thing is. Ugh. Got our 9-watt motor here. Gonna get it mounted on there and clean everything up.
It's so long. This is just a quarter.
And mine's beautiful.
Yeah.
old and busted, starting to seize up. My dad's gonna turn it here in a second. Hard to turn, no good. We really appreciate doing these jobs before hours so we can kind of lay ourselves out and make a mess if we have to. Use this opportunity to just to clean everything out. Oh, so dusty. Made a pretty big mess. Got that fan blade nice and cleaned up. Just looking beautiful. And then we forgot to put this little spacer holder thingamajiggy in, so quickly putting that in. Like it never happened. It was there the whole time. Tighten that nut. And then make some electrical connections. We just had to snip the plug off the end. And we're using these Wagos now for our connections.
Or we put this on. I could probably do that by hand, and then maybe we'll put that on with this again, and then put that on like back here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's really great to work with a partner, someone that you can just kind of bounce ideas off of and maybe have them hold something while the other person does something, or even honestly just a little bit of moral support. Trevor and I are a good team. We got this fan motor back in place where it needed to be. Just finishing up our connections.
Gotta do the spin.
Always do a test spin.
Do I have to move this back, or is it?
Yeah, let's move a bit.
All that dirt I loosened up. Whoops. Now we'll let the system run for a little while we tidy up and just make sure that we come down in temperature. I checked a little too soon. Clean up on all four. Just kidding. We are all good here. Moving on to the next job. Okay, we're back here to look at the Samsung unit that needed the wind baffle. It's in that nice big box, and I struggled with it by myself. I was like, no, I do not need any help. I got offered many times, and I was like, nope, do not help me. I am an independent woman. Just kidding. Unfortunately, this is where my camera messed up. Luckily, though, my phone camera is still my primary camera, so I got some footage of this wind baffle. Not a whole lot to talk about here on this wind baffle. It literally took like 6 screws right into the unit itself, and it looks kind of ridiculous. I was annoyed because I had to go get something from the truck, and Trevor had done most of the job without me, but it's fine. I still got to do something. I get so annoyed sometimes when I don't get to do the job. But Trevor saved me like a couple of screws to do myself, so I did it anyway. I posted a video about this on my Instagram, and I had so many comments from people saying that it was a terrible idea, how I shouldn't obstruct the unit. And at the end of the day, these are Samsung pots. They're made specifically for this unit, for this system, and it solved our problem. So yes, but people on the internet know more than I do anyway, so what are you gonna do? Now we're just arriving at a sawmill. We're going to work in their office. And they have the coolest basement access ever. Just have to hold down this button. And voila. We'll go downstairs to access their HVAC system. So they've got a bit of a complicated system here, but they've got 2 motorized dampers, one for the front reception area and one for the foreman's office in the back.
So she's stuck.
One of the motors we found faulty, and my dad's just testing it now to see if it does anything, but unfortunately the damper is actually damaged. The motor is usually attached to this little, like, pull thing you'll see when Trevor takes his hand away, and it's actually busted, it's broken. So the motor was actually turning, it was spinning, but it had nowhere to pull, so it was just spinning to nothing. So we're trying to get the damper out, and unfortunately we're a little bit limited by this extra duct.
Yeah, there's nowhere near the section of duct has to come out.
And it has to come from this side, right? It can't. Basically just
From here to here.
basically just this guy. So we told the ladies upstairs there was going to be a bit of noise, and we got to hammering. This is not something that we do often. We don't deal with ductwork very often, so it takes us a little bit of time and energy and effort. But between the three of us, we got it out. Trevor's hammering away. I had a good chance.
Got a little bit of a movement there. There you go. There you go. If you can get it like another half an inch or so. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna pull it.
And once we got that piece of ducting out, the damper slid out really easily. And we took it along with us to go and buy a new one. This is where it broke. Just snapped off there. It's kind of cool how it works. It springs open and it motors closed. And the new one is a little bit different. It's got a really nice little motor on it compared to the old one.
Beautiful.
We've returned the next day. We're just taking that little plate out. We put that plate in just as like a temporary. And it's easy to just slide the new damper in. It fits perfectly. And it's super easy to wire up. Literally 2 wires. You don't even need a screwdriver or anything. Fortunately, when we tested this thing, it didn't do anything. So we took it out. We did a bunch of tests. We tried a bunch of things. We had power going into the unit, but it was not budging, not moving at all. So it looks, unfortunately, like this part was faulty from the factory. So I made a couple of phone calls, patched up that hole again, and unfortunately, we'll have to come back next week when the new damper comes in. So we're done for now, and I get to close this door again, which is one of my favorite things. That power damper actuator motor situation is really, really sucky. We sat in so much traffic today just to get to the supplier to get it, and then to our job site only to go back to the supplier to return it, and then that's it. Plus, we have to be like to our client, they're like, all done? We're like, no, actually, it's just a sucky situation for everybody. It's not our supplier's fault. Maybe it is. No, it's not their fault. Like, it came out of a box. So, it's just a shitty situation for everyone. Now we're looking at a couple of thermostats that are acting kind of weird. And all it was here was a programming issue where the people would override the temperature. It's set and it's like an auto setting to like 75, but every time they increase the temperature and then decrease the temperature, I don't know, something got glitchy inside. And so we weren't going into a heating mode at all. So anyway, we tried a couple of things here, try to reset the system, making sure that the temperature is actually accurate.
Okay, now
And then we finally got it
we have
working.
heat on.
I forgot that we also did a site visit at this factory where we're potentially going to be installing a couple of air conditioners in their change rooms downstairs. And just doing a little bit of a tour of the roof to get the placement of the units. And we had to wear these really fancy hairnets. Looks so good. Look at us. Yeah. And finally, I'm at that career fair for high school aged girls. I've done a number of these little events. I set up my little table. I've got a bag full of goodies, things that I've collected, parts and components that are just old and dead. And I just put them on my table along with a bunch of stickers, and the girls seem to love them. I've been talking a lot about it lately, but look what arrived today. My tickets to CMPX. Yay! Also, what arrived? Are they not beautiful? They're gonna match my pink shirt perfectly. So if you're at CMPX, come find me in pink. I'll be all in pink.
Well, that's all the adventures I have for you this week. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the HVAC Diaries HVAC vlog. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys all again next week. Bye! What? We're ready, getting ready for, I hate this. Cool.
Something arrived today. It's my tickets. Oh, shite. Okay, start that again. Yes. Also, what arrived? This box. Thanks a lot, Kat. Start that again.
Boom, shakalaka.
Oh, really? How long is
Can't see my face.
that a wicked video? Okay, that's tight.
It might be tight, because if two have lined up, it should be fine. I know. That light's at an angle.